March the 9th, I celebrated my 45th anniversary at the Times Union, and on March the 10th, I was diagnosed with small cell lung cancer. And we're now through with some chemo. As you can see, I lost my hair, but thank you very much for your red wig. I got it out of your loan closet. I also have a blonde one, and so we're fooling around with several different personalities that we're using in our recovery. I did want to tell you a little bit. I was a smoker. I smoked for 45 years until about 6 years ago when I got into a clinical study at the Mayo Clinic, and in 2 weeks' time on a miracle drug quit and haven't picked one up since. Of course, the FDA in its wisdom did not approve that drug for smoking cessation in the United States. I understand you can get it in Europe though. But to tell you a little bit, and I'm sure you all know, everybody smoked. When the Times Union moved from Pearl and Adams Street downtown to Riverside Avenue in 1967, guess what every employee got? An ashtray with a picture of our beautiful building on the riverfront. And some of us, and I only had half of it left, even got a Zippo lighter with the building etched on the bottom. More than 100 years of service to Florida. I also wanted to tell you about something significant that happened in Jacksonville on January the 4th of 1967. I don't know how many of you know that in that day, the national president of the American Cancer Society was a Jacksonville physician by the name of Ashbel Cotton Williams. I always loved that man's name. And that, because he was the president, he got the honor of introducing the first nationwide films that coincided with Congress having placed the warnings on the side of the cigarette packs. So Dr. Williams came down here for a dog and pony show at the old Robert Meyer Hotel, and Senator Maureen Neuberger, who had sponsored the legislation, was here, and Kyler Hammond was the vice president of the society at the time, and Dr. Daniel Horn from the U.S. Public Health Service was here, along with Dr. Alton Oxner, who came in from his clinic in New Orleans. And they put on this big show and showed the movie that they were going to be putting on television as a public service announcement. And I was sitting there with a radio station reporter, now deceased, by the name of Tandy Swink. And I will never forget, when it was all over and Dr. Williams said, "Any questions?" Tandy put her hand up and she said, "Do you have an ashtray? I want to smoke." At any rate, I will tell you that I did find out from these principals that Maureen Neuberger was a former smoker. Dr. Williams, who eventually did die of cancer, had been a smoker. Dr. Hammond had been a smoker, and so had Dr. Horn. But they all had managed to kick the habit by that time. I do want to talk to you just briefly about how the diagnosis of cancer has changed my life. Suddenly, and I found this from other cancer survivors, and you'd be amazed at how many people are cancer survivors. I'm finding them all over the Times Union. Frank Brown down in composing, brain cancer, still going. Marianne Sturzel, lymphoma, runs our library. And we compare, in fact, she was in the hospital the same time I was, but, you know, we compare notes about our treatment and whatnot. And something that I have realized, and I have seen from all of these people I have met, is how much of a positive a cancer diagnosis is. For some reason, you get your life in order. You think of only the good things. Suddenly, the measly little, picayune little things don't matter anymore. And as I said on the video, I was driving to work after a radiation treatment, which I finished, by the way, and had some beautiful music playing on the radio in the car, and suddenly it hit me that even at my advanced age, I'm going to be 71 in 2 weeks, I am at a state of perfect grace and peace. I look back over my life. There are few regrets. I haven't had an easy life. I've had a hard life. I've survived alcoholism. I've survived the suicide death of an adult son. And as one of my old colleagues down now in South Florida sent me when she saw the video, you've survived just about every jackass editor the Times Union ever had. So I do want to thank, something else I wanted to tell you. I've been amazed at both the radiation oncologist and the chemo oncologist about what help there is for cancer patients. These doctors put money into foundations for their patients who can't pay. And I'm just amazed at the help that is out there, and no one has anything to fear with cancer anymore. And I hope I've cheered you up or just shared my story or something, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it.